Welcome to the round table. We are finally in the trials again after getting lost in the last one a little bit. Ugh.
Trial former. So there's gonna be a trial later.
I have no idea. I know it's a trial day, so that's all I need to know.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how long this particular chapter goes.
It goes pretty long. I think there's at least another trial.
Well, there are two murder cases, you could say. There are two murder cases, you could argue.
I mean, yeah, kind of. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright?
I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all...
Oh, that's... okay. The victim was murdered in two different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed.
I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning.
We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how did it go? It's as Mr. White suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I am as much in the dark about this as they are.
Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall.
What kind of trace evidence?
You don't want to know.
What?
Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you?
In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall?
In J'accuse, we have to play the cards of where dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye?
Do what you have to do, Mr. White.
I'm gonna do the do.
Then again, why is this going on for so long when she already said that she confessed? I mean, huh?
Because there's more to it than we know, I
mean,
guess.
that is true, but... It's interesting how they still question this confession, even though... I mean, the court system is all around getting cases done quick within 3 days. But then again, she has now... I am her... Well, you are her defense right now? But she says she will...
I'm her daddy now.
Or maybe I just forgot how it came to this.
Well, court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is...
I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I heard the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Wow, this is one messed up trial.
But there is a discrepancy in the... how's it called? Discrepancy in the autopsy report that there's at least 1 hour gap where he could have died. I think it was 1 hour at least.
Yeah, we'll check on it. I think we can check right now.
That's due to loss of blood.
That
Within an hour and a half.
within an
1.5
and a
hour
half.
discrepancy.
So plenty of time.
One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
I mean, that's basically what Phoenix does all the time. He has no clue and just winks at every time.
Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Oh no.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Oh no. Oh
yes.
boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Things are getting wild and
I
riled.
have to go a little bit back from the microphone, I think. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. It was I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like to
Sir,
hear
I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Oh, the younger generation these days, getting up to assassinations and professional killing. Oh, please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir.
Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. Oh man, the game is so old, but it still strikes the time or whatever. I wanted to say something like the river of the time, but that doesn't make any sense. There's a German saying that goes in that vein.
Or it was simply written by someone older.
No. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm.
Crime report, sir.
Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So, the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto to others before they do unto you! That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. I need him to tell me all about it.
In his shrill voice.
In all his juicy dialogue. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not?
Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. He is
Yikes!
responsible for that.
Now there's a scary thought.
Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger.
Yes, sir! The lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transfer process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I say, sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony, the ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there? And I was afraid I hadn't to do anything.
Well, in order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct?
Precisely, sir! I have one right here around my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right?
There it is! I found it! This is the one right there. Oh, here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir! It's 498-9596! That's my number, sir! So he went in...
I see. Huh, but the number 4989-596 is shown as being used twice.
Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see, so it was during that second time then. When?
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Alright. Hold it right there. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir! A knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him.
Oh dear.
That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... And I saw the blood trickling down my arm. I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar.
And then he did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, so... The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife.
I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see. He must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir!
Right in the gabba.
So the bloodied coat may have been his blood? About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious!
Oh, right.
According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head too! I woke up crying tears of pain!
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir!
Your mission?
Yes, sir! The Blue Badger, sir! I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand!
Well, we can all rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Also, I kinda want you to forget what I said about it being nice that he cried tears of pain. I'm not into that. I'm not into that.
Yes, Your Honor, of course you're not. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins.
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this! It was sent to my jail cell! Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir! The chief?
Delivered it?
What is that? A videotape? Oh, it's another one of those new technological thingamajigs.
Yes, sir! That's absolutely right, sir! A videotape, sir! The kids today don't know what that is anymore! It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room! I wonder how many actually don't really know what a videotape is anymore.
No idea.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. And was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into?
Snuff film. Oh God, really?
The horror!
Wait, what? There's nothing to see. Oh.
Walking around.
Oh yeah, of course it hides the face completely.
Always with the face.
Ah! This one evidence in the one locker is not hanging out yet. Ooh. Wait, where did he go?
Behind the camera?
What? How did he... Oh, look! Now it's closed! That means the code is... There's the code inside that safe.
Yeah. It was fast as lightning.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stir within us?
What the hell was that wiggling piece of polywood?
Plywood.
Plywood? Why did I say polywood? Plywood? God, what is a polywood even?
I don't know, a new Pokemon?
Oh, yeah, that could be. Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going
Why did
smoothly?
nobody remove the battery before putting him there? Ugh.
Because it's the pride and joy. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room. Placed in the evidence room. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's placed there at least. I mean,
Yeah, I just misread it. I thought the tape was found in the room.
okay.
I was like, wait, what? But no, it was just the camera. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity took place.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir! As you wish, sir! Wait, what?
Okay, moving on.
His face can't be clearly seen in the video. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. But something fell out when he opened that locker, so someone stuck something in between so the closing mechanism couldn't trigger.
And you're spoiling that to me because...
I mean,
Or...
I thought that was obvious. Something fell out
I
and
thought
that
it was
had
just-
to be obviously something like that. Is that really a spoiler?
Yeah, there was no indication to me that it was placed in a way that it would...
I mean, isn't that
Make
one of the
it-
oldest tricks in the book to make sure that someone didn't go in your room? Something like tape over a door?
How many people actually would use that?
I guess I'm just odd.
But
Damn
yeah,
it!
I thought it
I'm
was
the
just...
worst. I always wave about,
I
oh,
thought it
please
was-
don't spoil stuff. And I write it. Ah! Oh well.
But yeah, I thought it was just a random document that fell out from inside the locker, not that it was placed in such a way. What's this about a fingerprint?
I mean, this is one of the things I didn't even remember. I just saw this footage and thought immediately, "Ugh." After he said that that is Goodman's locker, this piece of paper must have just occupied the sensor. Or something like that. Well, I don't know. I mean, people can complain in the comments now that I'm a terrible person for pointing that out immediately, even though it was not because I remembered, but because I genuinely found this after I watched the tape the first time. Even though nobody will probably believe that because the coin puzzle in Silent Hill 2 took me so long to solve, so nobody believes that my combination skills are that good.
Yeah, like and subscribe if you think Vince is a great puzzle solver.
Oh boy. It also reminded me of the anime Death Note, where Light put something in between his doors to indicate if someone opened the door or not.
Yeah, that's about one of the only examples I know from any other media.
In any case, other than that I probably majorly spoiled something, each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing, that would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
He hit.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start.
Oh, I feel terrible now.
Ba-bum.
Ah, Vince the Terrible Prince.
Ugh. Vince the spoiler prince. I mean, it was
See,
genuine
and then-
combination skills, even.
Combination skills.
I think it's actually possible to watch the tape again and go fast forward and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're gonna press him here first. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter.
The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Oh, I know that feeling.
That's a good trait for a police officer.
Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. Well, you will lose that badge.
But there's no question. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. It is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. And after that incredible dumb spoiler of the host, now please be more certain when you testify. And more careful when I open my mouth. Yes, sir! You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. Why is nobody showing... Did somebody even show him the face yet?
Show him the face?
I mean, if he had a picture of Goodman, then he should be able to verify if it was Goodman or not.
I assume that Meekins simply would have known Goodman since they're in the same job. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir! I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. Could we program them?
Oh. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then it must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir! And this too! Wait, what? Oh.
Unquestionably, yes, I would assume so. How do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know?
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. I love the lunch lady. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Wait, what? I just guessed that. For the record, he does love the lunch lady. The open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
So it must be him! God damn it. I have the feeling I screwed up the whole Mr. Meeseeks voice. It sounds too whiny now.
I mean, isn't it supposed to be whiny?
I don't know, it sounds more happy-ish and less whiny-ish. I don't know.
No, it's... to me it sounds more scared out of his mind all the time. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir! If I may say something, sir!
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust this knife into my delicious body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is. Unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Oh.
Mr. White, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? There is a problem.
Yeah, there is a problem.
Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange? Dr. Strange.
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction? Contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, do propose to me.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
He would want me to point it out.
Very well. Proposal accepted. Now kiss the bride. And let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. White. You already know the answer because of the host. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman?
There we go. Fast forward. Pause, rewind.
Let's see.
The rewinds. The word rewind in and of itself gives me. Wait, what?
I just paused it.
That was not pausing though.
No, I think I misclicked or mispressed. But whatever.
The thing that's
okay. It was at the right moment anyway.
Yeah, but you would have probably needed to point exactly at it.
We'll see. The thing that's strange about this video would have to be this.
Hold on a second. I need to use my eye drops. Well, I don't get it.
Would you mind if I borrowed your eye medicine?
Don't look at me with those bleary eyes.
Before your eyes get too teary, perhaps you should think this through again,
Now what do I do? Play it again. Very well, let's try this again.
Just remember one thing, Mr. White. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt.
Oh.
Says the one pointing his finger at us.
I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of.
I wonder how many people I triggered with that.
Well, we'll see.
As if there are so many people watching anyway. There we go.
Aha.
A rubber glove.
Now let's see. Present. There we go. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Oh, yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. White. But you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise.
The point?
What you're looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, I almost walked right into the defense's trap.
I'll place him under arrest, sir!
Rats, I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Now what do I do?
What?
Okay, so that wasn't it.
Wait, maybe the piece of cloth we saw at the end of the video? Wait, even the game thinks we are skipping ahead of it. The only other thing that is important was the one that something sticked out of the last locker.
Let's see.
Yeah, we can go forward, forward, forward.
Yeah, just making sure I didn't miss anything.
A little more. Oh, we can see the blood. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and now the next time we go to the other side, there's something.
And stop. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this thing this time.
Oh, yes, that is strange. Very unnatural. What could it
Wait,
mean?
this is... Sorry to interrupt, Mr. White. Okay, it's still not the white one? The point of this exercise?
See. Oh, yeah.
Wait, this is... What? This is wrong as well?
Okay, let's see if we missed something in this cross-examination.
As a police officer to help the lost, sir. Wait, what?
Great. Now they think I'm lost. Let's see now. Reviewing the evidence. Or maybe it was the knife that he brandished that doesn't... what's the word? Yeah, there's also Marshall's fingerprints. Pieces missing. Oh yeah, there's also the question of the indicator light.
Right! That is
See.
probably it. I haven't even looked at that.
But the victim's body was found at the prosecutor's office. There has to be a mistake somewhere.
The weird thing's so much more intense than in the movies. You can use the player to watch it as much as you'd like.
The security video. Maybe I should take another look
I
at
think
this
you're
footage.
onto something with the light. Maybe that's the first
Wait.
step we have to take.
Okay, it's...
I think we have to go to the last point and then press again.
Here?
Press.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
just skip ahead.
Beepity beepity beep. There is a problem.
So we were ahead of the case 2 times.
It's happened before.
Did it?
Yeah, there was that other time when we knew all kinds of contradictions but didn't know exactly what the game wanted us to point out.
Okay, let's look at the indicator light. There, it's lighting up!
Let's see, would I need to push it
Yeah,
now or later?
That would indicate that it's already open.
Aha!
Oh,
Officer Meekins,
sir, do you mean me, sir?
as I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match.
The officer.
The light turns on and the lock is released, and you get to see Gumshoe's
Girlfriend.
crush, I guess.
Or crush, I don't know anymore. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture.
Oh, can we go faster than this?
No.
No, we don't need to see everything, right?
It's not letting me go past it.
Damn it. Please, no.
When the victim reaches for a handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little
Oh, come
earlier.
on, can you not fast rewind? Oh
no.
god, padding out the playtime like a pro.
It's the power of the badger. Here, notice the light. Watch this. It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When the door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes, why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Huh? Oh, I was looking at the pretty lights. Maybe something like jammed the system sensor?
Jammed? Something jammed the sensor, you say? There's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I don't say. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause of this.
I mean, at this point it would be pretty clear what it is. Oh.
Yeah. Bam, 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 ba-da, bam.
And there we go.
Aha! Caught you in the act. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Ah! Okay, there's no sound this
Good.
time.
It's an annoying piece of music. And
Now it's just the silence of death. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
but sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and walk great distances when I open my door. Wait, what?
We can't be... Well. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Inserted into who?
Insert.
Something rubbery.
And rubber. A rubber glove.
Oh.
But how many fingers?
This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. He's allowed to drive a car? Instead, I couldn't talk fast enough.
Yeah, that was automated for some reason.
But the object would have to be extremely thin
To fit in the door. I think the game is just pointing out that all the characters are at this point interrupting him because they've had it
Yeah,
with him.
probably. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Not an isolator?
Yes. An insulator, but at a crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, my insulator, you don't mean...
I
think I finally got this figured out.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
What is the difference between an insu and an isolator?
It's been ages since I studied electricity and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but yeah,
So-
the rubber glove.
I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir! It would appear so, sir!
Order! 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 So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this. No, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke?
Very well. Begin your testimony.
Mystery Man number 2.
There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use the ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Someone could have stolen it.
An ID card record, I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it's already standing on end. And it doesn't make much of a difference.
There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination.
So, it is of course possible that it was just someone using the ID card, but we are not sure how to prove that.
Yeah, I don't know how we prove that. I mean, we still know the last bit of the videotape with the white thing sticking out of the locker.
Indeed.
So someone must have opened the locker there to put something in.
Yeah.
But where to press on it?
Yeah, so unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you?
Yes, sir! Solid as stone, sir! Oh, flubber! If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even given the V for victory sign, sir! You have another hand? Couldn't he just use his right hand for that?
Well, I guess he's just not that good at using his hands. Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second.
Alright. Is that card hanging from your neck one of those ID cards?
Yes, sir! This card right next to my cuffs, sir! I keep it there so I won't ever forget it!
But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that?
Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card gets just stuck to my bum.
Maybe I should just leave this one alone.
At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
Please proceed with your testimony.
And yes. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to.
Let me say, yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman.
Huh? What's the matter?
According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
So it is, Your Honor.
Your name is also a very good anime movie that I saw last night. Do you like it too, Edgeworth?
Wait, what?
Nah, just making the judge a bit of a dweeb.
Okay. Is there actually an anime that is called Edgeworth?
No, your name.
Not the prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being, well, Mommy, is that man in blue murderer?
Shh! Don't stare at him!
You've got the wrong color, kid.
It would seem. The inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions, or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, must be so difficult for him.
Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you.
Yes, sir! He didn't show me any ID card, sir!
Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife.
Maybe he just panicked?
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. White, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. I mean, what do we have?
Okay.
We pressed him on everything, and now we have to show evidence. One must use them.
To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, the ID card was on the other thing. Maybe the ID card says when it was found. Oh, I know! We got a receipt that says that Goodman lost something. But it is unfinished, so it isn't probably solid evidence.
It was on that date.
Yeah, but we can't prove that it was the ID card.
Well, we can create the possibility.
Yeah, but that's not good
it.
enough. What does the ID card itself say?
Investigator's ID card found at prosecutor's office crime scene.
I mean, yeah, isn't that enough? When it was found at the crime scene, it... Oh yeah, it can't be at 2 points at the same time. Or it couldn't be.
One must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there is a record of it. So it's this one we'd need to press him on.
Yeah, let's say if I'm not sure if that is the right thing to do.
But it makes sense. At the time of the crime, detective had used this card, yet it was found at a different place.
Oh, okay, it's right. The music stopped.
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir!
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. Well, that makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. Okay, getting right to it. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. The lost item report. It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right?
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! Order! So now what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. And his clothes, apparently. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense.
Huh?
Bravo, Mr. White.
But bravo?
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime. Oh no! We just proved that Goodman was not in the evidence room, and now it is pretty clear that Lana Skye was the one who killed Goodman. So we basically
But that's
proved that the victim they thought on at the same time. We cleared this discrepancy now for him.
Yeah, but it's still not. It's not the full picture yet.
I mean, yeah, but for the prosecution it is. Now they don't have to bother with this crime scene anymore.
Well, they have to bother with me. Am I pointing?
The man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is, well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. White? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around.
This isn't going to end well.
Well, well. It seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such length to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place. At the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Ah!
Yep, that's the problem that happened.
I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
the activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor. Mr. White, you have to do something or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? The same way as always. One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. White? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Awkward pause. It did, however, show this monstrosity. And Meekins on the ground. And also that thing.
Oh.
However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Also, there's the question of when those prints came in.
Right.
Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
The prosecution requests the end of the video because we are way over time. So I hope you enjoyed this so far, and thank you for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more.
And leave a like and subscribe, and some comments, and share it with your friends.
Don't forget to bash me for spoiling something. That's very important.
Not too much, he's a frail man.